Welcome back, guys. I know it's been a minute, but we're going to jump into some real stuff right now. I just want to say, I know it's been a while since I posted, but I'm trying to keep as much consistency as possible. But you know how it is, work gets in the way, and you kind of miss posting a lot of stuff. But a lot of things have gone on, and I wanted to take the time out to do this video because this one kind of hits real hard. You know, just last week we lost yet another musical legend by the name of D'Angelo. And all this week I've been thinking, I've always listened to D'Angelo and I've always listened to Angie Stone, but to lose both Angie Stone and D'Angelo kind of takes the wind out of you. We haven't had this many celebrities, especially in R&B. Like I said, this era is kind of odd. Well, this year has been kind of odd because we've been losing a lot of R&B legends back to back to back. But D'Angelo is special for a myriad of reasons, and you know I grew up listening to D'Angelo. I remember when Brown Sugar came out and how important that album was to changing the landscape of music, because at that time music was overwhelmingly hip hop. Wasn't a lot of R&B out there unless it was sample based. And what I mean by sample based, some of the music that was coming out, it had to have a street appeal to it for other people to listen. And but D'Angelo was very different. And when Neo Soul came out, there wasn't really a name for it. When Kendar Messenberg, which is was his manager, came up with this genre of Neo Soul, it was kind of a marketing tool to put D'Angelo in a certain box, but he didn't. From many sources, what I've heard is that D'Angelo did not like the term neo soul because it limits a lot of musicians and what they could do, and he didn't want to be limited in the type of music that he played. But the growth and the evolution that we saw from those three albums that he put out, you know, it's kind of on the same level as Prince. He idolized and he idolized Prince in a lot of ways. And I think that was kind of shining through his music, that he wasn't in it for the fame. He's one of those artists that was really true to the art form that he was creating. He didn't get into it because he wanted to make all this money. He got into it for the love of the music that he was making. And you don't get a lot of true artistry like that anymore. And the quality of the music since the inception of D'Angelo and his music, it kind of got diluted. once we got to the 2010s. We don't have the artistry that we had once again. And then there are some artists, even in this era, that don't get the recognition that they should get for their artistry. And but during D'Angelo's time period, his artistry kind of reigned over everything because you saw him writing for Erica Badu, you saw him writing music for the Roots, and it was this creative collective of the Soul Aquarians. It just that time period where we had some of the greatest albums to come out of that time period. It was just a mosaic of good artists that wanted to create something big, and it was just brought together. And D'Angelo is just a part of that tapestry of music, of soul and funk and R&B, and also tying in gospel music into soul music, which most people couldn't do even back then. When you hear the Fender Rhodes, which are the Fender Rhodes piano or the Rhodes piano, that's become a staple in neo soul, and it just became something that became just it just became recognizable. You know, D'Angelo's music will always live on, will always be something that is played at cookouts, played at special events, played at weddings. You know, but I remember when Voodoo came out and How Does It Feel came out and how big that song was and how many women were talking about that song. I remember seeing the music video when I was about 10 years old, right around November 2000. It was everywhere. That music video was everywhere and it got play on every channel. VH1 was playing it, BET was playing it. It was everywhere and women were just talking about it, just talking about it. And that's when we knew D'Angelo had finally made it to stardom. And even in the midst of making that stardom, um, he pushed back on fame. He pushed back on the the role of being a sex symbol, and he stuck to making the music. Granted, he had a little bit of problems with the throes of alcohol addiction and drug addiction. He still made beautiful music, and that's something that can't be forgotten. Again, this is Tony J, Media Talks TV. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe because we got more videos coming your way. Rest in peace to D'Angelo. I'm Tony J, and I'm out. Peace.